What? 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 Test. Okay. There it is. All right. I think it's. Did you guys hear me the whole time? Because I felt like it had like a little delayed reaction where I wasn't getting any green bouncy lines. What's going on, everybody? When you came on screen, okay, yeah. So it must have been a little freeze. I was like, no. We have a new VIP. We have a new first. I like it. It's usually between like the mods don't count. So Maneater was here. I feel like she should never count because she lives in the same house. So how is she not first every time? I don't know. We'll talk about it in marriage counseling apparently. And no, I'm kidding. So Midnight Monarchy. Usually it's Sig Fang, but now he's a mod. So then it like kind of bounces between Smoke One Kenobi and some other ones. Maneater counts like all the way. Like when I say she doesn't count, it's like above everyone. That's what I meant, clearly. Damn, Susan Turpin up in here trying to get me in trouble. Could be your own people. It is Monday. Last week I was a loser. Didn't stream on Monday. Monday was a holiday, so we don't stream on holidays, right? So, I talked to HR. I talked to HR, and HR said that that I can have weekends and holidays off. And how is it only giving me 2 of 3? I think it took one of my ad snoozes away. Bastardos. So yeah. So then Tuesday, I streamed. Oh, I didn't stream. Wednesday I streamed. Thursday was what you call it? Nerds of Culture, which is always live. Love it. If you guys haven't caught a Nerds of Culture, I highly suggest you get on it. Doggone it. Here, let's do this. Let's just throw a exclamation point links in the deal here. And you know what? Let me just cut and paste that bad boy, because once again, slacking over on the YouTube side. I am live on YouTube. Is that 2 minutes? What's up? Oh, look at that. YouTube is out here not giving me enough characters to do that. So we'll have to figure that out later. I'm over it. If Nerds of Culture always on Thursdays, I've only caught a couple of them, but my birthday is this Thursday, so I want to watch some streams. First of all, happy early birthday. Second of all, yes, every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 over on the Pacific side, where the sun goes surfing. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that one. West Coast is the best coast. That's what I'm saying. As I get older, I feel the connection, the draw, right? I feel it like I'm not as, but you know what? It really is. It just seems like even in my head, if I think about it right now, like if you imagine the West Coast, it's sunny. It's beautiful, beautiful weather, beautiful people. And on the East Coast, I'm imagining it's cloudy, and well, it doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, we have Florida, we have, you have beaches all up and down the East Coast, but still, it's cloudy. The people are asking, "What are you looking at?" The people in the gas station give you your change back and then stare at you, waiting for you to walk away. I mean, in Portland, it's pretty rainy. Yeah, true. Yeah. I don't want to claim Pacific Northwest, but I was in Washington State for like 11 years. So, yeah, you're right. All right. What do we got going on today? So I'm going to do, Bernie the Blur Without Fear and Chris Cypher a favor. I'm gonna do them a favor, and that favor is I'm not gonna ask them if we're gonna talk about Jonathan Majors' interview this week. I think we have 2.5-ish, because one of the episodes we were like, we're gonna talk about that later. But we talked about Jonathan Majors. I would say we talked about it enough on Nerds of Culture. But I might get voted out. I mean, there's 2 other people. Maybe they want to talk about it, but I figure I'm like, I'm not gonna bring it up because I think most everybody's tired of talking about it. But you know me, I'll talk about something till I'm tired of talking about it. So we're gonna watch. So Jonathan Majors broke his silence and went on Good Morning America. So we're gonna watch that, and who knows? Maybe it's gonna be like, I was wrong, and I shouldn't have done that. You know, something along those lines. Maybe. You can only hope. What else do we got going on? FD Signifyer put out a video, and guess what? It wasn't 3 hours long, or 2, or even 1. So we're gonna comment on it. We're gonna react. Dave Chapelle over on the FD Signifyer over on his live channel, where he just kind of bullshits. He doesn't put his video essays on Signified B-sides. He put up a little 20-minute conversation on Dave Chapelle, so I'm kind of curious what he has to say about it. Jonathan Majors, boom, 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 boom. What else did I have up here? Oh, yeah. Okay, now this one I will tell you. The last thing we'll probably talk about tonight, and we'll see how time is going and all that. But the last thing on the list is gonna be almost missed it. Almost missed the snooze. One more snooze. I'll be honest with you, didn't do a lot of prep work on this. The video is 3 hours. We sure as fuck are not doing 3 hours. That is for sure. But there was a 3v3 debate sometime. How long ago was this? It was yesterday. Okay. 3v3 debate yesterday between Destiny, Glenn Greenwald, Darren Beatty, Krassentine, some people, right? So there's some stuff happening. What's going on, Mojo Quid? What's going on over there on the YouTube side? And Alex Jones. Alex Jones is on this debate here by way of Blurred Cave. That's what's up. Yeah, I like. You know what's cool is that I would say at least a solid half, if not more, of everyone who watches this is from the Blurred Cave. So that's what's up. I like that. I like to see that. It's I call you all. So if this is my family, we'll call you all my cousins. Blurred Cave are my cousins. Yeah, so that's what we have on the books today. Now the Alex Jones thing, we're gonna see how that goes, right? So it is 3 hours long. I didn't do any homework as far as like, oh, we gotta watch check out these clips or whatever, right? So we'll bounce around. We'll see how long it holds attention, but it'll be one of those things. We'll see if what I have to say about Destiny is true. There's I would say most of what Destiny talks about is stuff that I don't give a shit about. And then when he does talk about something I'm interested in, it invariably is gonna, well, not invariably, but a lot of time it's gonna be shit I don't agree with. He's one of those like middle of the road, like moderate lib types and shit, and so 9 times out of 10 he's gonna be off. But if you give him like a lob, right? If you give him some liberal talking points, right? Is racism bad? okay, like he can hold his own there, and he's go debate a Nazi about why it's not okay to commit a genocide. Okay, cool. But if it's anything more nuanced than that, then we're gonna disagree. So, all that to say that in this debate where he's on one side and Alex Jones is on the other, look, don't be mad at me, but we're gonna have to be Team Destiny tonight, okay? There was something else. There is a couple small things I do want to bring up. We're gonna start off with the news, so we'll start off with Means Morning News. I think they're back on now. We'll start doing the things. Maneater dropped. Reminded me. We'll just look at some of these jokes. Apparently, some comedian no one's ever heard of did the Golden Globe Awards, and that bombed. And that should. We'll all cringe together, right? Why not? We'll cringe. We'll cringe as a family. What's up, Highlander? What's going on? Welcome back. Let's see. Let's do those first. Actually, let's do those first. Why are they not clickable on here? I don't like that. And then when I click it to highlight it, throws it on the screen. Dang, that's a nice profile picture, Maneater. Look at you. Dressed up. The Taylor Swift joke fell hard. I heard. I saw some of it scrolling through IG. Selena reacts to Joe Coy's unfunny. God. Joe Coy. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Has anybody ever heard of him? Like, is he like somebody's like, oh yeah, I've heard of him. He's just not very famous or yada yada yada. I don't know. I've never heard of this dude. All right, let's check out some of these clips. Let's see here. You know what? To be fair, let me change this from politics to just chatting. Which we're probably we'll do. This is a just chatting type of stream tonight. All right, let's do that. As much as the Barbie joke, way to minimize how much of an achievement it was. NKT, not as much as the Barbie joke. Way to minimize of how much of an achievement was. Oh, I guess I'll get it when I hear the joke. I was like, I don't understand. Hold on.
Goes from perfect beauty to bad breath, cellulite, and flat feet. Or what casting directors call character actor. Character actor.
All right, what's this next one? See, I gotta give it to especially. That's what we're gonna talk about this week. We're not gonna talk about Jonathan Majors' interview because we are gonna talk about fucking, oh my god, brain farting again. Cat Williams. We're gonna talk about Cat Williams this week on Nerds of Culture, so be there. Joe Coy's I don't know who Joe Coy is. I don't know. I've never heard of him. I literally have no clue.
Oppenheimer is based on a 721-page Pulitzer Prize-winning book about the Manhattan Project. And Barbie is on a plastic doll with big boobies.
I kind of want to hear the rest of the joke. Maybe there was context. Maybe there was like some hard hitting comedy there, and y'all just didn't give him a chance because we're doing this on TikTok. How long is the thing? We could have just watched the whole thing, I feel. All right. Uh-oh. This is the Taylor Swift one. All right.
It came on after a football doubleheader. The big difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL, on the Golden Globes, we have fewer camera shots of Taylor Swift. I swear. There's just more to go to here.
Sorry about that.
On the Golden Globes, you have fewer shots. Taylor Swift. So, I want y'all to... Oh, okay, listen. I need y'all to explain something to me. I felt... When I first heard that joke, I felt like the joke was the NFL spends a lot of time showing clips of her. Is that not the joke? Because I felt like so the Barbie joke was shit, right? Like obviously I was kidding about like context, right? That was a joke. But that last joke about, but she's not an actor, so why would she? It's not like he's calling her a bad actor. And do they do music at the Golden Globes? Is that a music? That's not a music one, right? That's a... Oh, I'm thinking Emmys. Golden Globes is music. Oh, no, right? Somebody tell me. Somebody. I'm boomering out here. They do music? All right. So then he was kind of it was a jab at Taylor Swift and all that, but yeah, when the Chiefs play, it's a lot of shots of her walking to the stadium. Okay. All right. I mean, but that's the joke, right? It's a shit joke, but it's kind of like, ha, because they like showing her on the screen. And okay, all right, now I get it. The Barbie one definitely offensive. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I think I like, kind of reminds me of the one YouTuber who was like super like shitty to the people she worked with and yell at them and stuff, and it was just like, I mean, it ended up being a lot more than that, but my initial reaction was, okay, oh, there's one more with Robert De Niro. I just don't I don't know what the hell the Golden Globes are. Yeah, you and me both, Brandon. I'm like, what? Golden Globes, that's somebody gets an award for something. Funny how this resulted in people wanting Ricky wanting Ricky Gervais back to host, despite the fact that his final time hosting the Golden Globes was literally the start of his old man yells at cloud token anti-woke out of touch shit lib phase of his career. True. What link did I miss, Maneater? You said there was a they get lost in the sauce when when you put them in the chat here. Usually you DM me. You should have had Cat Williams. They can't afford Cat Williams. If you're hiring some dude named Joy Coy or whatever the fuck his name is, you probably cannot afford Cat Williams. Oh shit! Well, hurry up and give me that Robert De Niro one before we get into the news, because we're gonna kick this off. Even though this is a just chatting stream, I think we'll call this one just chatting. Thank you, manager. We will still kick it off with the news from Means TV, as usual. And then when we don't have Means TV to get the news from, we get it from Democracy Now. Just get some headlines, get everybody. Just in case. All right. Means Morning News. There we are. January 8th. Oh, what's going on here? What is going on here? Do they not do Mondays? Question mark. All right. Guess we're doing Democracy Now right after we see that video. Bernie Mac's daughter responds. Yep. How's everybody doing? How's everybody back to work? I know everybody's super excited, right? So you got that whole ass holiday, and then it's those first. This is the first week back to work, and everybody's like, "Ugh, I had way too much time off, and I just don't know I don't know what to do with myself."
You can't see it.
CG
Can't see it.
BRDF Ben
Dot.
Ben the they them with the plan. What's going on? Thanks for the resub. I appreciate you, friend. 12 months. CG has been showing solidarity with a struggling streamer for a whole ass year, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Joe Coy comes across as a Joe Broken knockoff if he never hosted Fear Factor, never heard or got into MMA, and never did one speck of drugs in his life. True. The drug he does do is alcohol, and like a lot. He seems like an angry drunk kind of guy. You know how you can really tell, right? You know how you can really tell is there was one clip of Joe Coy that I saw that said something. He was like, "Come on, I had 10 days, and the jokes that I wrote are the ones you're laughing at." Like, it's very, very like there's a, first of all, I don't envy bombing on stage ever, right? Ever. I will never experience that. My social anxiety doesn't allow it. You know what I mean? Like this sort of thing right here, there's a chat running and then there's me. And I don't really get any kind of like, like there's no real way to bomb, really. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, maybe that was kind of boring, or whatever. I'm just gonna do what I do, right? But doing it on stage, getting booed, or seeing the faces of disappointed people, that's way worse. So I would say that it's something different that I don't envy. However, you can tell a lot about a person by how they react to embarrassment. You know what I mean? Like, some people see they're doing bad and they're sad. And they're like, oh man, I should have done better. Some people get thrown off their game. Some people just keep their head in the game. They finish their bit and then they rework them because they have to redo it. But some people, typically dudes, will get angry. And you see that. You watch how they deal with their family. You watch how they deal with their significant others, their kids, the audience. And when they're starting to feel embarrassed, they get angry. And that's the kind of person that you could probably tell that's an angry drunk right there. All right, let's get this link here. Dudes get mad when they make sexist joke and no one's laugh. Yeah, for real. He's the one who gets mad when, like, I guarantee you there's stories of when he was younger that if he asked somebody for their number, like, he is definitely the "you're ugly anyway, bitch" kind of dude who gets rejected. That's like, he says that shit, guaranteed. Versus like the normal, okay. By the way, if there's anybody out there who doesn't know, it is a secret. A lot of people don't know this, but there is a way to respond to getting rejected when you ask for someone's number, and it goes like this. All right, ready? Okay. And you walk away and you go like drink and you have fun with your friends. They should have brought back Tina Fey and Kristen Wiig or Jimmy Kimmel. At least they don't punch down. Even Howard Stern was complaining about how coy bombing is because Hollywood doesn't like to be made fun of. Hollywood doesn't like to be made fun of. You know what though? Here's the deal. Here's what I'll say. Amy Poehler. Okay. I'm not so plugged in. You know who would have caught that? I think maybe Blur would have caught that. Maybe not. I don't know about this one. I don't know about Golden Globes and stuff, but Blur's very, very pop culture plugged in. So maybe he would have caught that. Me, you could have said anybody. Like, they should have done the Tina Fey and Diana Ross one. And I was like, dang, I didn't know that. That's crazy. I bet you that was a really good one. Oh shit! I forgot what I was saying. But all right, let's go. Let's check out this last thing before getting the news.
Some I wrote, some other people wrote. Robert De Niro's here. Yo,
this is it. This is the I get mad when I'm embarrassed right here.
Some I wrote, some other people wrote. Robert De Niro's here. Yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up. You're kidding me, right?
That right there, that you're kidding me, right? Like, if you're a fan of his or you're him, you're like, oh, come, that was a part of the gig. Like, no. First of all, I can read people like a book, and I could tell when people are doing the I'm annoyed but I'm laughing thing. It's very, some people do it well, and I'm like, I still see you. And some people are obvious about it. And let me tell you, this motherfucker's being obvious as fuck.
Slow down. I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at. Look.
All right. All right. That's enough laughing, okay? That's enough laughing. Let's get into how the world is burning down. Yeah? Yeah.
By viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org.
Not even a little bit.
/give. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israel's bombardment of Gaza has entered its fourth month as United Nations top humanitarian official warns the relentless assault has left Gaza uninhabitable. According to Palestinian health officials, the death toll in Gaza has topped 23,000, including almost 10,000 children. UN Emergency Relief Chief Martin Griffiths said Gaza has become a, quote, place of death and despair. He said Gaza is on the verge of famine as it faces the, quote, highest levels of food insecurity ever recorded, unquote. Israel's war continues to take a devastating toll on Palestinian journalists. By one count, 110 journalists have been killed in Gaza over the past more than 3 months. On Sunday, an Israeli airstrike in southern Gaza killed 2 journalists, Mustafa Thuraya of AFP and Hamza al-Dadou. Hamza was the eldest son of Al Jazeera's Gaza bureau chief Wael al-Dadou, who had already lost his wife, daughter, another son, and a grandson in an Israeli airstrike in October. In December, Wael was injured himself in a drone strike that killed his
Burning
cameraman.
down is an understatement. Yeah, no, 100%. Especially if you are connected to what's going on here. Journalists are dying. They're not stopping. They're not slowing down. They talk about pulling out, but really what's happening is they're increasing airstrikes. It's disgusting.
Hamza done to them, and what has my family done to them? What have civilians in Gaza Strip done to them? They have not done anything. The world is blinded by what is going on in Gaza.
Al Jazeera journalist Hind Khaldri broke down crying on air as she talked about the death of her friend and colleague, Hamza al-Dadou.
Hamza was a very beautiful man and journalist and friend, and I don't want to cry, but I'm reporting this right now because I know that if Hamza was here, he wanted me to report, and he wanted all of his colleagues to report and to continue reporting. And I'm so proud of Hamza and everything he did and everything he reported during the 90 days and more than 90 days, and how he was very strong despite everything he went through with his father. Hamza was a great friend for everyone, and our tears today is because we miss him, and we're going to miss him, and we're going to miss his smile.
Al Jazeera's Hamza al-Dadou was killed on the day U.S. Secretary of State Tony Blinken went to Qatar. Qatar owns Al Jazeera. Meanwhile, the United Nations reports there are just 5 doctors remaining at Al-Aqsa Hospital, the largest hospital in central Gaza, which is coming under repeated attacks by Israel. The World Health Organization says 600 patients have been forced to evacuate the hospital, the whereabouts of those former patients now unknown. Sean Casey, the WHO medical team coordinator, spoke from inside the hospital.
There are patients coming in every few minutes, and it's really a chaotic scene. The hospital director just spoke to us, and he said his one request is that this hospital be protected, even though many of his staff have left. Even though this hospital
Knesset member Ofer Kassif backed South Africa's ICJ genocide case. That's incredible, actually. That's incredible.
That's the critical message for today.
The Israeli newspaper Haaretz is reporting a group of family members of Israelis who were killed in Kibbutz Be'eri on October 7th are demanding a probe into how their relatives died. An Israeli brigadier general recently admitted he ordered an Israeli tank commander to fire on a home where Hamas fighters were holding 15 Israeli hostages. Brigadier General Barak Hiram told the New York Times he'd ordered the tank commander to, quote, break in even at the cost of civilian casualties. Only 2 of the 15 Israeli hostages survived.
Oh, I see what.
A suspected Israeli strike in southern Lebanon killed a senior commander in an elite unit of Hezbollah earlier today in a move that further escalates tension in the region. Security sources told Reuters Israel struck a car carrying Wissam al-Tawil and another Hezbollah fighter. Last week, Israel assassinated a Hamas leader outside Beirut.
In his announcement, he claimed, "My constitutional duty is to Israeli society and all its residents, not to a government whose members in this coalition are calling for ethnic cleansing and even actual genocide." That's brave.
While Blinken's publicly calling for de-escalation, the Biden administration continues to face criticism for sending more weapons to Israel while carrying out its own attacks in Iraq and Syria, as well as targeting Houthi forces in Yemen. On Friday, the Prime Minister of Iraq threatened to kick out U.S. troops after a U.S. drone strike in Baghdad killed a leader of an Iranian-backed militia. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is facing growing questions about why he did not inform President Biden.
Okay, yeah, so Secretary of Defense went to the hospital. He didn't tell anybody, not even the president knew, not even his replacement knew. It is absolutely, this is, I'm becoming like a broken record now. It is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. What is happening regarding Biden's support of the war. Disgusting. So they did a halt on they created a barrier to getting weapons over there, and he signs an executive order saying, "Nah, we're gonna do it anyway," all while saying, make sure you need to stop. You need to slow down. Like, this isn't right. Yada yada yada. Oh, here's all the bombs you need.
Alaska Airlines plane near Portland, Oregon, Friday. The incident, which occurred at 16,000 feet, forced the plane to make an emergency landing in Portland. The National Transportation Safety Board has revealed Alaska Airlines had concerns about the plane prior to the incident, but kept flying it. During 3 recent flights, the plane.
So, by the way, this right here is not an exit door. This is literally like a paneling, like a part of the fuselage that is made that builds the plane that the plane is made up of. Nobody was in that seat. The person who was supposed to be in that seat missed their plane. A literal just side of the aircraft just popped off. Oh, fuck. Oh, by the way, I'm flying to France next month, so yay.
Plane's auto pressurization fail light had illuminated. In response, Alaska Airlines had restricted the plane from flying over water to increase the chances the pilots could, quote, return very quickly to an airport. In 2019, all Boeing 737 MAX 8 jets were grounded after 346 people died in crashes in Ethiopia and Indonesia. We'll speak with the mother of one of those victims who died in the Ethiopian crash, as well as a former Boeing supervisor, later in the broadcast. In Bangladesh, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has won a 4th straight term in a race marred with controversy after Bangladesh's main opposition party boycotted the elections. The opposition BNP, Bangladesh Nationalist Party, says as many as 20,000 of its members have been jailed in recent months in a nationwide crackdown. Many are speculating whether Hasina is trying to turn Bangladesh into a one-party state. She's the daughter of the founding president of Bangladesh. Wayne LaPierre, the longtime head of the National Rifle Association, has announced he's resigning ahead of opening arguments in a major corruption trial. New York Attorney General Letitia James sued LaPierre and other top NRA executives for using the group as a, quote, personal piggy bank. The trial could result in the NRA being dissolved. LaPierre to hear an appeal from Trump after judges in Colorado ruled the former president's ineligible to appear on Colorado's primary ballot.
Actually skipped ahead a little bit too quickly. So there is something kind of cool about the what's going on with the NRA. This could result in the NRA getting dissolved. So fingers crossed.
The justices will decide whether Trump violated the insurrectionist clause of the U.S. Constitution for his role in the January 6th insurrection. Oral arguments will be held February 8th. Meanwhile, President Biden has denounced Trump as a threat to democracy. In his first campaign speech of 2024, Biden spoke in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania, on the eve of the third anniversary of the
Biden said Trump is a threat to democracy. He's right. Okay? He's correct. But it's like American democracy. Okay? He's a threat to American democracy, and Biden is a threat to like democracy everywhere else. You're definitely a beta male by watching them. Beta! Hey, welcome, Ronald McMahon. Welcome to LeftFace TV. By the way, the rules of beta go, if you're here and you're watching, you're now also a beta, so sorry. What is the right here? This is what I'm looking for, right? Hey, where'd it go? Oh, this one right here. No, I haven't. Do you have a link? What is that? Have you heard the U.S. involvement in Pakistan and its connection to Ukraine? Do I want to know? Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
January 6th insurrection.
Donald Trump's campaign is about him, not America, not you. Donald Trump's campaign is obsessed with the past, not the future. He's willing to sacrifice our democracy, put himself in power.
Biden is heading to Charleston, South Carolina today to speak at the Mother Emanuel AME Church, where the white supremacist Dylann Roof shot dead 9 black parishioners in 2015. The Supreme Court is allowing Idaho to enforce its strict abortion ban, lifting an injunction that protected emergency room physicians.
Just in case you missed it. Just in case you missed it. Just listen to that carefully.
To enforce its strict abortion ban, lifting an injunction that protected emergency room physicians from prosecution if they provide the procedure to save a pregnant person's life. Friday's ruling rolled back a lower court's decision temporarily blocking the Idaho law, which makes it a crime to perform or assist an abortion punishable with up to 5 years in prison. The ACLU said in response, quote, "Let's be very clear. The result will be that we will see more women like Kate Cox from Texas, who was forced to flee her home state to get the critical care she needed."
If you perform an abortion to save the life of the person carrying the baby, you can go to prison.
Other women won't have that option, and some will die as a result of the abortion bans, unquote. The government of Azerbaijan has picked a former oil executive to be the president of the next UN climate summit, which will be held in the oil-rich country later this year. Mukhtar Babayev spent 26 years at Azerbaijan's state oil company before becoming Azerbaijan's ecology and natural resources minister. The recent UN climate summit in the United Arab Emirates was also headed by an oil executive, Sultan Al Jaber, CEO of the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. And the acclaimed TV broadcaster Mehdi Hassan has announced he's leaving MSNBC after his show was canceled. Hassan was one of the most prominent Muslim voices on American television. In October, the news outlet Semaphore reported MSNBC had reduced the roles of Mehdi Hassan and two other Muslim broadcasters on the network, Ayman Moeldin and Ali Velshi, following the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel. Then in November, MSNBC announced it was canceling Mehdi Hassan's show shortly after he conducted this interview with Mark Regev, an advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
I've seen lots of children with my own lying eyes being pulled from the rubble.
Because they're the pictures Hamas wants you to see. Exactly
and also
my point,
because they're dead,
they're
Mark.
the pictures
also
Hamas
but
wants.
there are also people that your government has killed. You accept that, right? You've killed children, or do you deny that?
No, I do not. I do not. I do not. First of all, you don't know how those people died, those children.
Oh, wow.
Mehdi Hassan announced he's resigning from
who out there in mainstream media is pushing back like that? Nobody.
MSNBC last night during the final episode of his program. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Democracy Now! Is funded by viewers like you. Please give...
Why do they keep putting oil people in the climate change chair as if their opinion about damage to the planet is going to change? Yeah, no shit. No shit. You would think. How do I dock this bad boy? What's going on here? Oh, there we go. Oh, shit. Yeah. All right, there we go. Oh. I just learned how to make a dockable panel just now on OBS. Nobody gives a shit, but that's okay. He was the only good person to watch from MSNBC. Yeah. This is, I mean, you know what it reminds me of, actually? It reminds me of Good Cops. It reminds me of Good Cops. And it's like, every once in a while, you hear a story about a good cop, and they're out there and they're public, and part of their story is why they're getting fired. You know, like why people, you know, other cops try to murder them. Like, you make movies about like them getting murdered or trying to get murdered or getting fired, or something, or they have to go through like 10 years of a lawsuit to get their pension, right? I mean, that's what happens when you're a good cop. When you are in mainstream media and you say nope, we're not going to do that. We're gonna go ahead and talk about this, and I'm gonna push back. Well, you find yourself without a show. That's what it is. Mojo, I was a bit behind regarding the former oil exec being the head of an ecology department. Holy conflict. Yeah, holy conflicts of interest. Yeah. It's all it is. It is always about, you know, either nepotism or quid pro quo. I got it. I say words. You should watch the Democracy Now! Clip. What is this? Yeah, fuck it. Poor K no. So this is from 4 months ago. What made you bring it up now? This is what I'm talking about. You hear this music? Maybe not, but it's whack. It's like, it's YouTube say. Ever since I've been streaming on YouTube, YouTube has this whole rule for like what could be, what's safe, and it's like, because I got some dings last time, and so I said, oh, let me pick YouTube safe, and it's like, who made this? Amazing how ineffective the Biden admin is at keeping the border secure. You know what's funny about you people? What's hilarious about you people is like the talking points you decide to like focus on. Like, the border, like immigration and deporting people, is literally the only is the thing that people on the left are getting the most mad about. His deportation numbers, his policies. Do you know he wrote a executive order lifting environmental protections to get the wall built, and then recently he asked for more money to get the wall built? Like, there is so much that Biden is fucking up on, even from the perspective, like things that you could make fun of, like is this your king sort of people, they comment, right? That you could do, and if you were like, you know, if you thought you were on some like if you thought I was on Biden's dick the way that I know you are on Trump's, and don't do that whole like I don't even care about Trump. I'm not even a Republican, which I'm sure is coming next. Yeah, because he's a hypocrite. So it doesn't matter then, right? So just admit it doesn't matter, right? So he's either for the wall, either he's against the wall, or he's for the wall. Because by the way, I agree with you. He's a hypocrite.
He's building it back better, Jack.
He's building it back better, Jack. Thanks for the bits. Yeah, I agree with you. This is
CGBRDF has donated 100 bits and says he's building it back better, Jack 100.
That's new. Is it because I clicked it? Not gonna click that again. That was really loud. Sorry. New plugins. Don't know what everything does just yet. I think I just learned something new. But you see, yeah, me neither. I was like, oh my God, well, who the fuck is that? Sorry about that. No, it was my fault. My fault. You had the normal one, and then this new plugin one. Yeah, but anyways, like the guy who is literally building the wall, finishing the wall, asking for money to build the wall, lifting federal protections of the environment to build the wall, kicking people out of the country, deporting people out of the country, a vice president who says stay home, don't come here. Biden's out of control on the border. Like, you guys are slow at best. That's all I can say about that.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Nermeen Sheikh.
We end today's show with a new report by The Intercept. Secret Pakistan.
Yes, I will, Mojo Quid. I will do that for you. If you can you just keep that tab open? Yeah. Here, let me. I'm gonna drop a link to the Twitch side. Keep the tab open. So here's what I will tell you. Click the bits every time. Here, I'm gonna put the link in there for you. LeftFace TV. All right, just real quick before we start this next clip, Mojo Quid just reminded me. So we do dual stream now. I am on YouTube and Twitch all at the same time. I am trying to get the YouTube side a little bit boosted. So if you can head over to LeftFace, it's just youtube.com/LeftFace, not LeftFace TV, and give it a like. If you are so able, everybody's on different, maybe if it's on your phone, it's too much of a pain in the ass. But if you are like on your PC, if you want to have that window open and then maybe just mute the tab and then just have that playing, that would be, I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. That'll help out the algorithm and get that discovery up. That is the goal for this year, to try to get YouTube up and going, and watch time would definitely help over there. But the emotes are over here, the biddies are over here, the text to speech is over here, and most of the people over here. So I get it. No. You acknowledging that Democrats are literally shedding tears about Trump's wall, addressing the wide open border, but then they flip and start building the wall that Trump started. You see the hypocrisy, though. I said I agree with you. I don't know else what you want me to say about it. I do think it's a silly thing to highlight when you come on a leftist show as if I give a fuck about as if I think Biden's doing a good job or something. But let's just pretend I did. Like say I pretend that Biden is this like oh man, like pretend I wished Biden was my dad as much as you wish Trump was your dad. It still would be stupid because I'd be like, he's doing the thing. Like, what? Be happy. Like, pick something else. Or you having trouble? Is there something else? Is there anything else?
Cables document U.S. pressure to.
Okay, so this is from 4 months ago, but still interesting news because I sure didn't know. Looks like the United States. Look, this is gonna be really hard to believe. Okay, like I need everybody to just kind of like hold on, hold tight, because this is gonna be shocking. The United States may have been involved in destabilizing, another country in the global south. I know, hard to believe. Well, his son Hunter, but yeah. Team YouTube, Blur Without Fear over on the YouTube side. Sigfang over there. Thank you all for hooking up the YouTube side. Appreciate you. Can't find something else because the GOP strategy is to campaign on the problem, not getting what they want or fixing anything. Boom. You know what I should do? No, this is what the Republican Party needs to do. You know what I would do if I was the Republican Party? I would enter into a thank you, Midnight Monarch. I appreciate you. I would enter into an election year getting ready to impeach Joe Biden. Let me tell you something. All right. Let me give you, before we start this. All right. So we will. So hold on. We're going to do this, right? Cause I'm going to leave it on the screen just in case I forget. Cause sometimes, you know me, I got a bad memory. So we're just going to do this number right here. Okay. Here's the deal. Here is the totality of where I am. Right. And I'm not alone. Biden is bad. Trump is marginally worse. And when I say marginally worse, what I mean is take everything that the Republicans are doing now, right? Conservative run states, take everything that they're doing now and look at the way the Democratic Party is doing dick to stop it, right? I don't see any executive orders. I don't see them, jumping on the Justice Department's desk. I don't see them threatening to pull back federal assistance. You have Trump out there saying, well, if you do this with trans ideology, then we're not gonna give you federal assistance to this school or that school, right? So you have the Democratic Party with Biden at its head doing nothing to stop what is happening with what the conservatives are doing in the United States of America and abroad, right? Okay. And that's, by the way, that's not to say that only Republicans are doing bad shit. I'm just saying of the shit that the Democrats aren't doing. That I just want you to cage that in. Of the shit that the Democrats are not doing, they sure as fuck aren't stopping the Republicans from doing it. And this is what I mean by the marginally better part, is that Trump would come in, and especially if you know anything about Project 2025, Trump is going to come in and you're going to take that leadership, right? You're going to take that administration, and instead of doing nothing but dumb fuck statements and you shouldn't do that and I'm very mad at you, it's going to be fire. It's going to be fuel on the fire. It's going to be gas on the fire. It's going to be do more. It's going to be kill more. Then you are going to get like, we want all 50 states to be like Idaho, Texas, Florida, et cetera, et cetera. So things are bad. Biden sucks, but I still don't want Trump in office. Trump would gut the good leadership of the NLRB, kill the post office, attack the administrative state 100%, gut other regulatory agencies. He would be funny. He would be funny 100%. 100%. Here's what I'll say. There is literally one good thing about Trump, right? It's like a thing we do. Ainsley Hargis over on the I Freaking Love Comic side on YouTube. She has this really cool thing she does where she's like, it's like a little thing. I think it's weekly or something, like say something nice about X something, whatever it is. Usually comic book related, right? So say something nice about the Blob or whatever, right? And it's cool. You see stuff like fuck, okay, I got if I could, and she's on top of it, right? If I had to do that with Trump,
fighter jets,
you can't see it. You
look at that.
Can't see it.
Look at that.
Right next to it, it can't see.
Rescuing Midnight Monarchy from the clutches of commercials, of ads. If I was forced to say something nice about Trump, it would be he's gonna be pretty good for the stream. Okay, he's gonna be a good content generator. There you go. That's all I got. Oh shit. Cooking with silence. Oh shit, what's going on? I haven't turned into one of these in a sec. These are so entertaining. Thank you. I appreciate that. See, I learned how to dock. I learned how to dock these things. So let me move that bad boy out of the way. And now I forget to look where I docked it. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you. Yeah, no, you're exactly right, CG. When you look at the Project 2025, pretty much the main goal, there's a lot of bad shit with Project 25, a lot of shit that the statements and goals that, right? But the core of it, the core of Project 2024 is to take the administrative state, gut it, and place everything under a few people directly reporting to the president. I don't think people realize just how crazy that is. Right? And that is not to say Biden isn't garbage. Biden is garbage. Now, why did I even bring all this up? Because Ronald McMahon 2024, brand new account who is totally not a troll, probably, maybe, we'll see. He's still here, so if you're a troll, you'll be banned. But here's the deal. Because of what I want to see happen, right? Because of what I believe is with regards to the tipping of the scale in the most minute direction towards Biden. Here is what the Republican Party can do to make sure our Genocide Joe stays in the seat, and that is continue to piss and shit themselves about women in trans women in sports. That's very important. Okay, I need you to stay on it. I want you to spread the word. Okay, write your congressman. If you are a Republican, serve your country, spread the word and say, stay on top of trans women in sports, because that's important. Okay, that is. The numbers are in. The jury is in. That is probably number 1 or 2 on the minds of most Republican voters. Okay. Number 2, make sure you start preparing to impeach the sitting president in an election year, because again, you want to make sure people know, hey, you mean business. Make sure that we get on top of that. And then number 3, we won't go too long. I'll just leave it with this last number 3. I want you, this is very important, all right? We don't have a lot of people like you, Ronald, so I'm depending on you, all right? I'm depending on you to get out there and spread the word. I want you to take a subject that Republicans, by and large, especially since Ronald Reagan, have been super in on it. All right, you couldn't move. It was this and guns. Okay, I want you to be able to take that, and I want you in you being the Republican Party, right? I want you to make sure they know that you take something as solid as being pro life, right? I always call it pro forced pregnancy, and I forgot it for a second. I want you to take something like pro life that you guys have been like solidly like boom, like nothing could break this, right? Pro life, guns, Christianity, right? That's the core. That's the trifecta. And I want you to make it so medieval, so archaic, so painful for women. I keep on with that. I want you to be so fucking hard, where women are fleeing their states, having ectopic pregnancies, giving birth to the rapist kids, giving birth to their dad's kids because they were raped. I want you to like make sure that you don't veer from that, because then, yeah, make this shit Handmaid's Tale, because then guess what? Then that shit is going to be what gets Biden in office, because you guys are losing Republican women with this shit, right? I mean, the only thing that can beat Biden and the Democrat Party's inability, the lack of desire to do fucking anything, is the ineptitude of well, actually, let me rephrase. The only thing that can beat that is the level of how stupid the Republican Party thinks its voters are. That's the only thing that's gonna beat them. The Republican Party has so little respect for their voters that they've decided, I'm going to go off of culture war issues. This is how we're gonna win again. All the while losing on the policy front. Republican women turn in their ballots and be like, yes, honey, of course. Let me tell you a quick anecdote. Let me tell you a quick little anecdote, okay? I was canvassing out there with Stacey Abrams, for Stacey Abrams out here where I live. And I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again real quick. And way more than once. So here's how it works. When you vote for your party gets like your information, right? Like your name and you know, so they know, like the Democrat Party knows that I voted Democrat last time. So as it came around again, they know to come contact me. And part of the campaign, for when people are campaigning, they'll go, the canvassing part is to go to each home that the Democrat voter lives in, or else we wouldn't have their address. Remember that. And say, hey, make sure you vote this year. I know it's a midterm and a lot of people don't vote, but can we count on your vote, right? Have you ever been asked that? Like, can we count on your vote? How many times I went to a house where I only see one woman's name on it. I walk up, her husband answers the door. I'm new to this whole canvassing thing, so I don't really understand like what's happening yet. I ask for, is Mrs. So-and-so there? Yeah, well, she's taking a nap. What? Who are you? What are you here for? I'm canvassing for Stacey Abrams. Like, yeah, we don't vote for Stacey Abrams in this house. Okay, yep, I'm out. Right? No arguing. I'm not about that life. I'm like, deuces, right? And every time they'd be like, how did you even get my address? Now, the first time I answered that question, it was met with anger and I'm a liar and yada, 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 because I'm being honest, I don't really understand what's happening here. And then the lady who was organizing this stuff, I called her after I got back to my car, and then she let me in on what's happening. And then my answer changed after that, because I'm not trying to make anybody's life suck. The first time I answer, I go, well, this list is supplied by Democrat voters, so it would just return back to the House. Well, there's nobody who votes Democrat in this House, and you're like, oh, all right. And I didn't catch it at first, and then you're like, listen, minors, not minors, but like kids, like adult, like voting age kids who still live in the House. I'm 42, so you're 18, you're a kid. The 43. So, and wives are out there voting Democrat in a conservative household, lying their ass off because, and what do you think it's about? You think there's women out there in a conservative household married to a conservative Republican MAGA dude with conservative MAGA kids, and they're voting Democrat for what? To keep trans care available to kids? You think that's what they're doing? No, they're doing it because Republicans are fucking idiots, and they are going way too fucking hard on this pro-life issue, forced birth. All right, that's enough. Stacey Abrams, nah, bruh, no way. Yeah, way. All right, here we go.
Remove Imran Khan. It follows up on their recent story that begins, quote, the U.S. State Department encouraged the Pakistani government in a March 7th, 2022 meeting to remove Imran Khan as prime minister over his position on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The cable describes a meeting between the Pakistani ambassador to the United States and two State Department officials that Imran Khan has repeatedly cited as leading to his political ouster after a no-confidence vote in Parliament, believed to have been organized with the backing of Pakistan's powerful military. The meeting came after then Prime Minister Imran Khan arrived in Russia on the eve of its invasion of Ukraine last February 2022.
Bro, I got the ugly-ass Kamala Harris email. Bro, you think that's bad? Do you understand how many times I text back a number stop? Hey, this is Joe Biden. Like, first of all, no, it's not. Now I'm already mad because I know damn well Joe Biden's not texting me. So, can we depend on you? I'm like, I just replied back, stop. You have been unsubscribed from this thing, and yet they still keep coming.
2. He could be heard telling a Russian official, "What a time I have come, so much excitement," as he arrived in Moscow's airport. On the day Russia ordered the invasion, Khan went ahead with his scheduled meeting with President Putin.
The State Department officials present at the meeting, described in the secret cable now published by The Intercept, included Assistant Secretary of State for the Bureau of South and Central Asian Affairs, Donald Lu, and Asad Majid Khan, who at the time was Pakistan's ambassador to the U.S.
And if anybody knows if it's a robocall or not, it's me.
The cable says Liu raised the issue of the no-confidence vote. Quote, I think if the no-confidence vote against the prime minister succeeds, all will be forgiven in Washington because the Russia visit is being looked at as a decision by the prime minister, unquote. Liu continued, quote, otherwise, I think it would be tough going ahead, and said Khan could face isolation by Europe and the U.S. should he remain in office. For more, we're joined by Murtaza Hussain, senior writer at The Intercept. Can you lay out what you have found?
So this document has been at the center of Pakistan's political crisis for the past year and a half. For the first time, we've actually seen what it says, and what it seems to reveal is very extraordinary pressure which was put by the U.S. on Imran Khan over his stance on Ukraine, which in that document, U.S. officials referred to as aggressively neutral. So shortly after this meeting depicted in this document known as a cipher in Pakistan took place, Imran Khan was removed from power in a no-confidence vote, which State Department officials had not just encouraged but actually threatened Pakistan over, that should Khan survive that vote, Pakistan would be isolated, and should he be removed, quote, all would be forgiven. So Khan himself had been saying for the past year and a half.
See, here's the thing that people don't get about the shit like this. I think we watch a lot of movies, right? And so whenever we think about espionage, whenever we think about meddling in other people's affairs, we imagine like CIA, black ops coming down and shooting people, assassinating people in their sleep, et cetera, et cetera. And let me tell you all something. Yes, that happens. But sometimes it's boring shit like this. A lot of times, I'd imagine. And because it is that whole idea of the threat of, the veiled threat of violence, right? And what does violence look like? What does violence look like? If you depend on me for your livelihood, if you depend on me to be able to eat and feed your family, and I tell you, hey, you probably want to make sure you go and vote for me for best new streamer of 2024. And I'm like, hey, listen. If you like working here, you best vote for me. But if you don't, and if you do, by the way, maybe a little bonuses. This is that type of shit that happens on a grand national scale. Do you think that, that the United States has something on each and one of those parliament members? Do you think they're all afraid of getting murdered or assassinated? No, you know what they're afraid of? They're afraid of their economy fucking crashing. They're afraid of poverty spiking and famine and unemployment, because they know that the United States has the power to follow through. So you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be that hey, look, you gotta go. The United States is pissed. That's how we eat. You gotta go, and that's how they get their way. Genuine question. Have you been noticing more and more that a lot of MAGA or MAGA-esque centrist or wannabe libertarian voters happen to be very bipolar or are ADHD? No. I would be careful with that kind of stuff. That we're getting close to ableist BS. I will say that I find a lot of leftist people to also, like, I think everybody has ADHD. I don't know. I know I have it pretty bad. I think more and more, I think people are just starting to get more open. If there was something here, I'll give you this one. I'll be ableist with you a little bit. Here's what I'll tell you. If there was something that I saw that was probably more I'll use a good word. It's stereotypical, right? If I'm overgeneralizing, which is never good, and being stereotypical, I would say people on the left are typically going to like suffer from things like anxiety and depression, which, if you think about it, kind of makes sense, because if you are empathetic and understanding of the way the world is on fire around you, that can be a load, right? If I had to guess, and again, overgeneralize with no studies, no information, and unfortunately kind of demonizing it. Anyways, it's going to be that Republicans are probably more along the narcissist kind of path, I would say. And I don't mean narcissist in the way that like regular people use narcissists, right? Like self-absorbed and stuff. I mean like inability to think outside of your space, inability to acknowledge, like we're talking about a group of people who new video came out for January 6th. New video came out for January 6th, and we all saw it. We all saw new angles of Ashley, what's her face, getting shot, and we're like, wow. Damn, yep, I guess that settles that. And still, MAGA came out and said, ha, see, we were right. And we're like, what? Thank you, CG. Let's get back on track. TLDR for the situation. The U.S. orchestrated a secret arms deal to send weapons to Ukraine, helping Pakistan reach the threshold needed for international monetary fund loan. To save the country's economy, according to two sources with knowledge of the arrangement. But just curious, because I've been noticing a correlation within my own personal life with people that I know who are bipolar, and they really play into edgelord centrist. Both sides are bad, and only stir the pot. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't really pay too much attention to like anecdotal like experience like that. I know a lot of people on the left who are also bipolar or borderline personality disorders. Here's what I'll tell you. I'll end with this. We'll finish this video. Don't ever let anybody try to make mental health an excuse and for their bigotry. Racism is not a byproduct of mental health disorders. That's on them.
His removal, that U.S. officials have played a very integral role in encouraging the Pakistani military to take him out of power. And now that we've seen this document for the first time, it does seem to validate many of his claims about the events which led up to his removal from power last year.
Well, I'd like to go, Murtaza, to a political activist, Asim Sajjad Akhtar, who Democracy Now! Spoke to on Wednesday. We got his response. He's a long-time left-wing political activist, and we got his response to the report in The Intercept. This is part of what he said.
I think The Intercept story is much ado about nothing, at least in Pakistan. That's and I'm talking about critical progressive circles. I'm not talking about government or the PTI or IK supporters. The truth is that IK fell out with the military, and that's the reason he was booted. I mean, what he really wanted to say was that Bajwa wanted me out, but he couldn't say that at the time, as the right tends to do everywhere, and IK is a classic example of a populist right-wing demagogue. Steals the he's not even anti-imperialist, but he at best could have called himself anti-American, and of course we didn't have the kind of or don't have the kind of purchase, especially in the mainstream media, to be able to say, well, no, a real anti-imperialist looks and does, X, Y, Z.
So that's Asim Sajjad Akhtar, left-wing political activist in Pakistan. If you could respond, Murtaza, to what he said. And also, a question that's been raised a lot in the Pakistani media, namely that Pakistan had already long been isolated well before this. I mean, Biden didn't even give Imran Khan a call after he was elected. So if you could respond.
Well, first thing to understand, it's a very polarized political environment in Pakistan, perhaps more so than it's been in many, many decades. So people's perceptions of this reflect that polarization inside Pakistani society. I think looking at Pakistani history, one thing which is undeniable is that the military does not make a move. The U.S. is effectively part of the governing compact of Pakistani society. At the time this meeting took place, Imran Khan was already on thin ice with the military. He'd fallen out with them after initially having his rise sponsored in part by their support. But as we see in this document, the military was waiting in many ways for some sort of green light from the U.S. Had they not gotten that green light, or have the U.S. said that we have no position on Pakistan's internal politics, it's much harder to imagine the subsequent events which took place. And one thing which is very important that we learned from this disclosure is that it specifically was about the war in Ukraine and Pakistan's foreign policy, which is usually part of the military's ambit. And after Khan was removed,
bingo Highlander.
We saw a very distinct change in Pakistan's stance on the Ukraine conflict. Just a few days before he was removed, General Bajwa actually gave a speech contradicting Khan's stance, which was very neutral on the Ukraine conflict. And now Pakistan has emerged as a major supplier of arms to the Ukrainian military, brokered by the United States. So you have to take it into the broader context of what's taken place in the year and a half since he's removed from power. And now Mr. Khan, who polls show is the most popular politician in Pakistan, one way or another, is specifically being jailed and banned from politics to prevent him from taking part in elections expected for later this year. So what we're seeing right now is a very thoroughgoing development towards a full-blown military dictatorship in Pakistan, which is taking place with the support of ostensibly democratic parties who have co-signed the marginalization of democracy in Pakistan for many years to come.
Yeah. And by the way, there will be absolutely no there won't be any, we won't regret that. Let me put it that way. We're not going to regret that at all, because every time we meddle in other people's governments and it's never for their own good, right? And so like CG said in there, with regard to making sure this deal happens to support Ukraine and get weapons over there. And regardless of what you think about, Ukraine and whether it's, should we be there, should we not be there, whatever, it doesn't matter. In this particular context, it's irrelevant because, once again, regardless of is it good for the Pakistani people, is it good for Pakistan, doesn't matter. Do what I say because I need this other route. Oh, is a dictator in charge now? Will we find a reason to blow up your country in 20 years? Maybe. But I'm gonna need you all to go ahead and get ammunition to Ukraine. Yeah. All right. So next up on the docket is something that if you've been following Nerds of Culture over on the new show over with Blur Without Fear, you've probably heard ad nauseum. Like I said before, I'm gonna do us a favor. I'm gonna do Blurred and Cypher a favor. Lo Tigre, what's up, Cypher? I'm gonna do them a favor, and I'm just gonna talk about it here. And I'm not gonna force them to talk about it. I don't think anybody is more tired of hearing about them than Blurred, and rightfully so. But I got an illness, you know what I mean? I have an illness. I talk about shit until everybody could be done talking about it, and I'm still in the room talking about it. So Jonathan Majors, yeah, I'm glad I said those words, because then my brain could like send a message to my fingers, because I've been hovering over some letters like the whole time I was talking. Jonathan Majors breaks silence. Here we go. Congrats on the engagement. Yeah, we talked about it on last show, but this is the first LeftFace since coming back. Cypher World, pop the question. Matter of fact, I said my piece on Twitter today and moved on. I didn't even see it yet. Yeah, let's do this real quick. Well, no, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go here, we'll do that. We'll go to Just Chris, Cypher, boom, and boom, here we go. And for everybody in the chat, we'll put it in the big chat. We'll put it in the doubles. If you haven't already, make sure you head over there to Just Chris Cypher. And give a follow if you like comedy. I mean, if you don't like laughing, if you don't like happiness, then don't go there. Don't follow. If you don't like to laugh, don't follow. But if you do like to laugh and you like comedy, make sure you go follow. This was a really cool little thing that he did. Let me take this title off here, so we don't want anybody to think that Cypher has anything to do with Jonathan Majors. Yeah, let's do this. Let's make that one go there, and then all right. Boom. Our boy, Chris Cypher, Just Chris Cypher, JCC, decided it was time. Now, let me set this up real quick. We're not going to watch all of them, but you should. You should probably go to the channel and watch them. But this is a series of shorts in which he continually messes up the timeline. And he's always messing up the timeline for some ass. It's not just any ass though. It's his girl's ass, but then like it keeps messing up because they're like, no, you need to stop, right? And then alternate versions of him try to stop it. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. You just need to go watch it, all right? But here is the last episode of that series that this past New Year's Eve he put up on the TV so that his longtime girlfriend can watch. So check it out.
Damn it, man, I messed up another timeline. Oh, well. Hey, yo, can you stop messing up all these damn timelines and quit being so afraid? Dude, what in Jesus, Lamar Christ are you even talking about right now? Yo, what is happening right now? Seems to me like you're being a little bitch. Dark Cheeks? What Dark Cheeks is trying to say is, don't let fear hold you back. Okay, but why is everybody being so cryptic right now? You know, the thing is that you know exactly what you need to do. There's no need to be afraid, man. I've raised an asshole. I've raised a procrastinator. But I did not raise no bitch. It's okay. Just take the leap.
King! Rest in peace, King.
Catherine, can you please turn around?
That's what's up. That's what's up. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's humor and then, you know, he gives a little bit of himself in there. So like, you know, that'd be shitty for him to be like, oh, here's I'm gonna make you a part of my life, and then you just don't even go follow. That's fucked up. Just give him a sub. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. So, I recommend Mom Math to everyone. True. All right, so check this out. Okay, all right. Hey, thanks for swinging by. I appreciate even the cameos. I'll hit you up tomorrow. All right, here we go. Jonathan Majors. Okay, we all know what's going on. We've all heard the stories. We're not going to repeat. Y'all know my stance. If you don't, go check out at least one of the 2 episodes of Nerds of Culture over on Blur Without Fears channel. And you will hear more than enough of our opinions on it. The Nerds of Culture Twitter kind of put the words out there. Today, Blur Without Fear put the words out there, you know, and we're pretty much done with it. But today, regardless of what you think about what happened and what didn't happen, yada, 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 what we're going to talk about today is Jonathan Majors decides to come on Good Morning America and get his thoughts. I'll be honest with you, I've avoided any, that's why I haven't even seen Blur's tweet on it. I've avoided talking about it. I've avoided looking at it because I don't want to, I was like, spoilers. I'm like, actually, you know what? I want to watch this fresh on stream tonight. And so I just left it alone. So I actually haven't seen this. You know what? Anybody who's seen me, like, you know, I've talked about things like Channel 4 News, Channel 5. You know, that dude, I am able to be gracious. I am able to, like, hey, look, people, you know, mental health is a bitch. And, you know, and if you like take responsibility and do what you need to do to get better. I mean, shit, I have skeletons. Most people have skeletons. Okay. Especially when you're my age and you know, if you're my age in 2023, you probably got skeletons. And so I try to give people space, but if you're not going to acknowledge what you did wrong, if you're not going to make effort to be better, if you don't own what you did, then really, I mean, the whole thing is tossed in the trash, right? So I wanted to see this. I am hopeful. I am as hopeful as I was when the charges first came out. And that is very like wanting it to be, you know, to be good. Wanted to do what he needs to do to make it right. But let's check it out. I don't know how it's gonna go. Shit, some folks got cemeteries, right? Closet's not big enough. I need the whole master bedroom. Here we go.
And harassment, and there's really a lot to unpack here. He calls the 2-year relationship with Grace Jabari toxic, dangerous, and unhealthy, but he is adamant. He says there was absolutely no physical abuse.
I told you, time isn't what you think.
Less than a year ago, the name Jonathan Majors was followed by talk of critical and box office success, skyrocketing fame, even Oscar buzz.
I'm coming for everything.
But this morning, a different conversation surrounds that marquee name.
I hope he invested wisely. I hope he wasn't like some of these people you hear, the NFL stars, and they just blow it because they just think the money's gonna never stop. I hope he has his investments good. open the closet door, not even dead, just falling out. Yeah, they're not even whole. They're still animated and shit. Yeah, I'm like, wait, you said skeletons? Like they're alive. Like, all right, skeletons and some fresh shit, I guess.
Something about sitting here right now and looking at you and understanding the gravity of the situation. A situation that I, in many ways, put myself in.
The actor spoke exclusively with ABC News for the first time after being convicted in late December for harassment and misdemeanor reckless assault in the 3rd degree, which could carry a penalty of up to a year behind bars.
Why did you decide you wanted to talk now?
People did point out that ABC is owned by Disney. I saw a meme out there that's like Disney fired Jonathan Majors and then invited him on his talk show to talk about them firing Jonathan. It don't really work like that. There are different companies and they have different heads and all that stuff, but it's kind of wild that Disney owns all this. The fact that Disney let this happen is very very telling. Yep.
I felt like it was time. A lot has happened in my personal life, in my career, in the culture. It's about responsibility and coming forward and being brave and giving my part of.
Don't say brave. Stop. That's like giving yourself a nickname. Like, it's about taking responsibility, being fucking awesome. Sometimes you just gotta be dope and courageous. And, and I'm going to try that today. I'm going to try to be awesome.
The story.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shock. I was absolutely shocked and afraid. And I'm standing there and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible? Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
Okay. All right. So, okay. So when he said taking responsibility, I'm a little confused right now. I don't know what that was referencing. Okay. I'll keep watching. I'm a little confused right now. I'm lost. It's like a memento, right? You don't really know what's going on until later on in the movie.
But after only hours of deliberation, a jury of his peers agreed with prosecutors that he did physically injure his then-girlfriend Grace Jabari in an incident last March.
What happened exactly? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But she's unconscious.
That 911 call from Majors came hours after an argument broke out with Jabari in the back seat of an SUV when Majors received a text from another woman saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari testified that when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger and giving her a cut behind her ear.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face, twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
How did those injuries come about?
Wait.
Physically injure his then.
Let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
But after only hours of deliberation, a jury of his peers agreed with prosecutors that he did physically injure his then-girlfriend.
Okay, I heard that wrong. I thought he was saying that he said it. So yeah, I'm trying to reach Chad. Okay, never mind. All right. So they said that they agreed with that. Okay.
Grace Jabari in an incident last March.
What happened exactly? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But she's unconscious.
That 911 call from Majors came hours after an argument broke out with Jabari in the back seat of an SUV when Majors received a text from another woman saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari testified that when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger.
So here's the thing. Let me just say something real quick. If you look at this, if you look at what's happening right here, this is, remember, he didn't get guilty of like assault and battery, right? He didn't get any of the first degree. He didn't get the actual more serious charges that were against him, which would have been lined up with I beat her ass, right? Like she tried to take my phone away from me and I fucked her up, right? Those wouldn't be third degree misdemeanor assault charges, right? He got the lesser ones, which meant like you did something not intending to hurt her, but did, right? And people are like, "What? How?" Even him right now. How is that happening? What do you mean? How is that happening?
That
Watch this. This is how you get a 3rd degree misdemeanor assault right here. This is a 3rd degree misdemeanor assault, right? Being rough with somebody, accidentally hurting them, maybe that not being your intention.
911 call from Majors came hours after an
He's picking her up and throwing her into the car, like, get the fuck away from me, right? And even if we could sit there and say he might have had a good reason to, like, maybe he was trying to like de-escalate. She had just hit him. Whatever you're imagining in your head. Again, and it's weird that people need to hear this, but it's weird to have to say, but if you're trying to get away from your girl or they're like, they're going crazy or whatever, they're hurting you, picking them up and throwing them might injure them, and it could get you in trouble. I guess we just got to say stuff like that out loud now.
argument broke out with Jabari in the back seat of an SUV when Major
Urban Prince street style jutsu. Changed it up. What's up? What's going on?
Received a text from another woman saying, "Oh, how I wish to be kissing you." Jabari testified that when she grabbed the phone, Majors tried to get it back, fracturing her finger and giving her a cut behind her ear.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face, twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah. All right, so let's break that down. I hit her in the face. I'm gonna give utmost charity, right? Top level charity here. Do I think that he's like, give my phone, boop? No, I don't think that. Give my phone, and he's reaching, and as he's reaching, like she's turning away, she doesn't want him to have it, and he reaches around over her shoulder to try to grab it. The hand gets around, scratches the back of her ear. Yeah, they were scuffling. They were scuffling for the phone. So prying her fingers away from the phone to grab the phone, getting her, right? Like doing all this shit. So this is the reason why I'm trying to like play it out like this is to try to like understand, it's try to have people understand that it's possible he's not lying, right? I'm not even saying he's lying. I'm saying that there's a way that this shit happened and he's not lying,
That did not happen.
How did those injuries come about?
I wish to God I knew.
Come on now. Did you get your phone back? Did you get your phone back? How did you get your phone back? Did she just be like, just kidding, hand it to you? Here you go.
About it?
But you're confident you didn't cause
I have no
them.
question.
Surveillance video shows Majors getting out of the car, followed by Jabari, whom he then puts back inside the vehicle. What happens?
I like the way you put that. Puts back inside the vehicle. Okay, Disney, I see you. You trying to see if you can salvage this? Are you trying to see if, like, you know what? Maybe, look, let's just do an interview. Let's put it out there, and it's 3rd degree. Maybe he could just stay Kang. You think we can keep him Kang? Like, I don't know. Let's put him on the interview. Let's put him over on Good Morning America. Let's see how this plays out. Put her back in the vehicle. He took her, weighing over 100 pounds more than her, guaranteed, and threw her ass like she was a suitcase, and you're a shitty cab driver. That's what he did. Come on.
Next is what the defense remains focused on. Majors runs off, and Jabari chases after him.
If you watch those videos and you reverse that, and you saw a black man chasing a young white girl down the street, screaming and crying, that man is going to be shot and killed in the streets of New York City.
Major's defense team shared these photos, which he says show the injuries he received that night, which were deemed inadmissible in court.
How were you injured?
Why?
My injuries were a scratch on my hand, from clawing for the phone, and I had a gash on my, at the time I had a beard. Under my beard, I had essentially a fingernail scratch on my cheek from pressure. And that bled overnight.
But prosecutors say Majors was the aggressor. District Attorney Alvin Bragg says the evidence presented throughout this trial illustrated a cycle of psychological...
Angry you. You can't be making me laugh during this. Stop.
and emotional abuse. In court, prosecutors pointed to a previous argument during which he knocked a candle to the floor.
I completely lost my temper in that moment and threw it all on the ground. That's not something I would want my child to do. And I did that. I absolutely did that. And felt terrible about it.
The prosecution also played audio Jabari had recorded earlier in the relationship where Majors encouraged her to act more like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama.
I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position.
I'm an honest believer that you can't be a superstar. You can't be a Hollywood superstar and not have some level of like clinical narcissism. What's going on Most Average Gamer? What's going on? Yeah, there's no way. Martin Luther King. I ain't heard that yet. Oh shit. That's it. That's permanent for me. Martin Luther King. Man, that's easy. It's right there too. What a softball. Damn. I'm mad I didn't think of it. Shit. Oh man. Fuck, what was I gonna say? No. Yeah. See, here's the thing. I want you all to like go have a conversation. Like be a fly on the wall. Be a fly on the wall to any creator that you might be close to. You know what I mean? Like what you're going to see from like normal people who try to get out there and create, even people who are moderately successful, you know, like Blur Without Fear. Now he ain't Martin Luther King level. But when it comes to YouTubing, like Blur's like that, Blur's goals, right? Talk to somebody who's not like has 10 million followers, somebody who doesn't make millions and millions of dollars a month. Like I'm telling you, like these people, I don't know that you could actually do that and be well. Like I'm sitting here, like, let me tell you. I mean, here I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you a little tiny example. I figured out the dual streaming. I set up the dual streaming. It's now going live on YouTube. And I was getting ready to go for that first stream, and I tell Maneater, I'm like, I don't know why, man. I got a little bit nervous, like a little bit. And she goes, why? Like you stream all the time. You've been streaming forever. And I'm like, I know, but now it's gonna be going live on YouTube. Like there's gonna be other people there. And she's like, oh, it's gonna be the same thing. You'll be all right. And I'm like, I know. I know it's the same thing, but it's just something like, whew, you know what I mean? I think normal people are like, man, I hope I do well. I think normal people are like, you know, they think about things like this. Like, what kind of person do you have to be in life to go, I am a great man. I am, you know what I mean? Like, do you understand who I am? Like who I'm going to be in life? Like to where he is using words like Coretta Scott King. Let me tell you something. That I didn't say this on Nerds of Culture, but we were clowning him for calling her Coretta Scott King. We were clowning him, but let me tell you something. I think I missed what the actual goal, what the actual like focus is. I did anyway. I'm not saying, maybe y'all are like, maybe I'm about to say it and y'all are like, yeah, no shit. That was the thing. For me, it was the ridiculousness of asking his extremely white girlfriend to be Coretta Scott King, right? But there's something else to that. There's another little tiny piece to that. For her to be his Coretta Scott King, he has to imagine himself as Martin Luther King. Who is this guy? Stop. Is that like a, who is this? Is this like a, who does this guy think he is? Or like literally, who is this guy? Yeah, this is Jonathan Majors, Kang, MCU. You're in the industry, CG. Yeah. Hey, random white woman, I need you to be a black. I don't fuck with talent. True. CG's over here like working for we're not gonna say which one it is, but working for a whole ass studio. He's like, who is this? He's it's Jonathan Majors. Here's the deal. Is not only did he ask her to be a black revolutionary, he's like, I need you to be the wife of somebody who is like one of the world's most prominent civil rights activists and icons of the planet Earth. You know what I mean? Like people in Japan know who Martin Luther King is. Like, come on. Maybe, I don't know. I saw a video the other day. They didn't even know. They didn't know what a swastika was. So maybe not.
Question, especially in the black community, as you're probably well aware, that people were saying, well,
what's going on?
This woman to be like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama.
It was me trying to
let her know that I'm pretty much Martin Luther King.
An analogy of what it is I'm aspiring to be, you know.
Yeah, so this is Kang. This is a MCU Kang. He's Creed, which was like, you know, a spinoff of the Rocky series. He is a fairly new actor. He's definitely what you would call an up and comer. But like not up and comer, like up and comer superstar. Like he went from nobody to like everybody in like a year, in like 2 years. So yeah, he's kind of a big actor right now.
These great men, Martin, President Obama, and trying to give a reference point to that. One of the things I also say is like, I need her, in that case, Grace, to make the same sacrifices that I am making.
In a statement to ABC.
First of all, that woman was not your wife. Okay. I mean, that's not the worst of it. Like, you are not Martin Luther King. Didn't she know MLK was cheating on her? Oh, I don't know. I've looked into that, and A, it's not super important, but also B, I heard that might be a FBI bullshit. That might be because the FBI did a pretty big campaign on trying to sully his name. Yeah. Like, if I'm trying to be anybody, I'm not trying to be anyone's bitch. Yeah, but yeah. True. I mean, that's the thing though. He didn't want her to be, he didn't say be like Joan of Arc. He said be the support that I need. That's what he was demanding, because he saw himself as Martin Luther King as a president, you know?
ABC News, an attorney for Jabari, said in part, it is not at all surprising that Mr. Majors continues to take no accountability for his actions, adding, the timing of these new statements demonstrates a clear lack of remorse for his actions.
Do you feel you're not responsible for her injuries at all?
I shouldn't have been in the car. I shouldn't have stepped out of the relationship. I shouldn't have been in the relationship. If I'm not in the car, none of this is happening. If I leave the relationship, none of this is happening. If I'm man enough or brave enough to say, I want to see somebody else, or I'm done now, I'm not in that car. We're not here. I'm responsible for those things.
But none of her injuries.
I can't say that. None of her injuries.
Sentencing is less than a month away. Legal analysts say it's...
All right. So let me... all right. Again, I don't... listen. I actually believe this is gonna be weird. I actually believe that he doesn't think he did anything wrong. This is a dude who thinks that it is appropriate and to compare himself to Martin Luther King. Trailhead 464, welcome back. This is we're talking about they just did an interview with Jonathan Majors after his convictions with some misdemeanor third degree misdemeanor assault charges getting dropped from the MCU and all that. And so we were just talking about that there. But again, she snatches his phone. He pulls her fingers away to get it back from her. He reaches, and her flipping the fuck out, which guaranteed she was doing. You could just see the way she was running after him. Like it's not like she wasn't involved with that shit. She probably hurt herself. And he probably didn't have any problem, being like, well, you did that shit to yourself, And so does he think that, does he refuse to take accountability because he beat her and is lying about it? Nah, I don't get that vibe. What I get the vibe is the type of shit that happens when you snatch your phone away from somebody and you accidentally break their finger and then you go, you did that to yourself. That kind of shit. Well, I mean, this is what it means. This is what it means to pay the piper. Some people were saying stuff like, "Oh, so it's okay for her to hurt him," and yada yada yada. No, it's not. It's not. But what do you want to do? It's just, I don't know. It takes two to tango. It does take two to tango, but I mean, I don't know enough about their personal relationship to what am I doing? Why did I move that? I don't know enough about that personal relationship to know what starts, but I do know that he has some crazy ass text messages about wanting her to lie about what happened when she goes to the hospital 2 years prior to this, or a year prior to this event, a year or two, however long it was. So, yeah, two things. And that's the thing too, is like, even if I take away the whole idea about mutual abuse or whatever, you know what I mean? Even if we disregard that, what I have to be mad at, and this is a weird thing, you see this a lot with people. You see this a lot from especially people on the right, where we see somebody do something bad, right? And we go, why is he getting punished? He didn't get punished. So you ask yourself, like, okay, so what are you saying right now? Are you saying that the person shouldn't get punished, right? Like, for instance, I heard this a lot when Bill Cosby was getting his medicine. It was like, oh, all these white, Hollywood people out there not getting arrested. Like, true, right? Yes, be mad at that. Why? And then the next thing is, why is he getting arrested? Like, time out. You fucked up. I was with you. And then I wasn't with you. You know what I mean? You lost me halfway there. You should want this motherfucker to die in prison. But you should also want, maybe not prison, but you know what I mean? You paid the piper. It's like, the fix isn't to not have consequences for people who do bad shit. The fix is to make sure that those consequences are evenly distributed. You know what I mean? Whether or not you want her to be charged for hurting him as she's trying to keep the phone or whatever, is irrelevant to him hurting her. You know what I mean? It just doesn't matter. Good night, Maneater. Adios. Buenas noches. Or buenos noches, whichever one it is. Did you watch What It Took to Be the Best, or the Bill Maher on Palestine? I sent you. Oh, that's a good idea. No, I didn't. We only got one more segment left, but I'm glad you actually brought those up, because now I know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Look at you. You want a job? You want a job in au revoir? Au revoir? You want a job as a content manager? Nah, you're not late. You are anytime you show up. We're just early. Not my name, but welcome. Here, let me close that out. There's something pleasing to my ADHD whenever like I have a bunch of tabs open because these are the things we're gonna be talking about and all that. And then I'm like, okay, we close that. Like I'm like, I feel like that sense of accomplishment. That's that whole like finishing list. They say make lists so that you can mark them off. Oh dang, we didn't watch the Destiny, but that took too long. We're gonna watch the Destiny versus Alex Jones tomorrow too. Because one thing I am gonna stick to is this timeline. We're not gonna be doing 5-hour streams anymore. All right, here we go. So next thing up, right? So again, if you didn't notice, it says just chatting, not politics. We did politics, but today was gonna be a little bit more of a pop culture-y kind of deal. So your boy Dave Chapelle, let's see, FD on Dave Chapelle. All right, there we go. Puts out another Netflix special. Now it's kind of sad the way things are going with this sort of deal. I think that it seems like there are certain comics that reach a point in their life where they realize that the only reason, well, I can't say that about Dave Chapelle though. I mean, everybody was still loving him. Everybody still, that's why so many people still love him, because of how funny he was. Like this is not even like a relevance thing. This is not a Ricky Gervais thing. This is not a who's that guy that you can do it. Like it's not even that kind of shit, right? Where it's like, bro, you're a nobody and you're just doing what you need to do to stay relevant, right? This is Dave fucking Chappelle. But even still, even if it's not about relevance, there seems to be this place that comics get to where you have this like fork in the road. And well, I mean, you could just sit there and keep doing comedy, but you know, people your age and the people who were watching you when you were in your prime 20 years ago are now more socially and politically aware people, right? For better or for worse. And now you're sitting there going like, well, how do I keep going? Well, you know what's getting you your millions now is talking shit about trans people, talking shit about it's just doing the thing that you need to do, right? Because that is what's happening. Kind of like in any content creation, right? Obviously, this is a very high level of content creation, right? Nobody calls it that when you're a star, but I mean, again, like, you know, I say this all the time. You know, I need to make a shirt of it. You're gonna live in the house you built. And right now, when people turn on Dave Chapelle, they're hoping he talks shit about trans people. They're hoping he talks about, you know, the alphabet mafia and yada yada yada, right? And I guess he put out a new clip, a new special. I haven't seen it. Blurred said on his tweet today that it was nothing spectacular. When he wasn't shitting on trans people, it was just regular, uneventful. It was a show, which is sad. It's a because when Dave Chapelle went in, dude is hilarious. Like Dave Chapelle is one of the greats. And to watch him put out a show that people call mid to offensive, I'm like, okay. I did see the clip where he's telling a whole ass story about how it was to meet Jim Carrey for the first time, and he was in a special role, and it was like you are a genius level comedian. Like you are hilarious. And the first words that come out of your mouth, I already know where this joke is going. Like as soon as you were talking about how much you love Jim Carrey and he was in this role that he was playing, I'm like, oh, trans joke. Here we go. Here it comes. And of course, right? I mean, and that's not me being intuitive. That's not me being like, oh yeah, I called it. But I guarantee everybody saw that joke coming a mile away. Like, it's sad. It's sad. Like, this is what you've become. But yeah, so FD, if you don't know, I'm a big fan. We've talked about him on Nerds of Culture. I'm a big fan. I don't always agree with everything FD says. He said some stuff, especially when he starts like talking about like, debate bros and stuff. Like, it gets old. Hydrate. Thank you, Susan. I will. Thank you. We did Telltale in Sea of Thieves, so I was doing that. Telltale. Tall Tale. We did a Tall Tale. Got it. You got me excited there for a second. I thought like Telltale. Have you seen the game people that did the Wolves Among Us and all that in Batman? I thought they did a Sea of Thieves one. I'm like, oh, that sounds dope. But yes, glad you're back. We're always glad you're back. Anyways, we around here are fans of FD. FD is the shit. I think he gets a little silly when he starts talking about debate bros, but that's okay. He's cool enough for me to forgive him on that. But let's see what he has to say about Dave Chapelle. I haven't seen this.
I need to tell you about the sponsor for today's video, Nebula. For those who don't know, Nebula is a streaming service.
He has a channel on Nebula. I would say probably maybe Nebula is as good to get on as Means TV. Personally, I give my monies to Means TV because they seem a little bit more on the leftist take. You know what I'm saying?
Worry about ridiculous copyrights.
To be fair, debate bros are not serious people. But is that fair?
Strike because I used 5 seconds of a comedy special in an hour-long video. All right. I also have to worry about how many curse words.
All right. Check them out. Go check them out. If you decide to use Nebula, check FDs because there are worse people to not. Are we here?
Creators be just a bit more.
Oh wow, this is a good one. All right, so 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Okay, got it. We are using his content for this segment, so I would be remiss if I said make sure to check out FD Signifyer on his 2 channels, as if the guy with 150,000 subscribers on his side channel needs my plug, but I'm just doing it to make myself feel better. And then. Also, if you're gonna get Nebula, make sure and this is for real. I'm not just being funny now. When you go out for these places and you're looking at these deals, keep smaller creators in mind. You know what I mean? Because obviously he's a large creator, but he's not a large creator out there making millions and millions of dollars, right? He's not Mr. Beast or even like Hassan or something. So
this video and this ad read. Shout out to the people at Nebula for supporting the video, and now on to the video.
There you go. 2 minute 50-second ad. I hope they're paying him.
It's his newest comedy special on Netflix this past weekend, and with it, I think it's time to revisit some of my old takes on Dave. Back in 2021, I think I did a video called Dave Chapelle Only Tells Half the Truth in response to his special, The Closer. And I made that video because I was really frustrated with the fact that a lot of people who I was in a community with, or at least was connected to, didn't seem to realize how harmful Dave was being in that special. People don't know trans people, don't know enough about the trans experience, and don't really understand that Dave was kind of talking out of his ass. They kept on saying Dave is the truth for saying what he has to say, not realizing Dave didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I tried to be as nice as I could with it to, illustrate the problems of what Dave was saying while not alienating people with the fact that they also don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's a pretty successful video. I have a ton of people that tell me that watching that video helped them see things differently. So I look at that as a legit win in my book, to know that I made something that helped people understand something that, needed to be understood better. And now 2 or 3 years later, after watching his newest special, The Dreamer, I can say without a doubt that I was cooking when I made that shit. Like, I was basically looking into the future. Like,
see what I'm saying? See, he's not even like a megastar yet, and he's already on like, I am the shit. I'm waiting. There's gonna be a FD call compares himself to Martin Luther. No, I'm playing.
Regardless of the response it had in the moment, I don't know if any video I've done has so perfectly stood the test of time. I give myself 6 out of 5 stars. Would recommend, because The Dreamer, Dave's newest special, it felt like Dave Chapelle watched my video and tried to find as many ways to prove that I was completely right in my analysis of him. So let's break this down. First, let's get some bullshit out the way. Whenever I challenge the status quo for some people around not being an asshole to the LGBTQ community, I always get some of the same responses. Number one, why are y'all trying to cancel him? First off, clearly Dave cannot be canceled. 2 years ago, we had the same exact problem and he barely skipped a beat. In fact, he signed on for more specials with Netflix in the middle of.
If what happened to Dave was cancellation, I'm needing to be canceled like ASAP. Okay, I have some bills to pay. I have some debt to get rid of. But somebody, please cancel me.
All the controversy. Rich people don't get canceled to the point where they lose their ability to continue being rich and famous. And for comedians in particular, it gives them this special edge that they're saying the thing that nobody wants them to say, which is like, it doesn't make sense that nobody wants them to say those things when they keep literally getting paid to say those things. What's happening was people were critiquing Dave. They were telling him that his jokes were bad and he should stop making them. What you all are calling cancellation is actually criticism. Stop being babies about it. Furthermore, if he could be canceled, good. If there were a comedian making fun of black people the way that Dave makes fun of trans people, we would be on their ass. We would have gotten them off the map as quickly as possible. There's only one comedian that dares joke about black people in a semi-negative way, and that's Bill Burr. And I've never heard any black people complain about him because, unlike Dave, it's clear he has some familiarity with black folks to make jokes that aren't the equivalent of chicken and watermelon jokes. Well, you know what? I'll get to that later. Number two, why must he agree with their lifestyle? Why can't he have a difference of opinion? Y'all, no one is arguing about this. This is something that people do when they have a fundamental and viscerally negative response to an issue or an ideology that is now socially unacceptable to have a negative response to. AKA, you're bigoted, but you don't want to admit it. So you just say, well, it's his right to be bigoted.
Yeah.
They never want.
This is just my opinion. Like I'm allowed to have my own beliefs. I'm allowed to have my own opinions. Like, no one said you're not allowed to have them, but you could also be wrong, and you're gonna catch it when you let them know. Like, if your opinion is, black people aren't human beings, yeah, you're allowed to have that opinion, and you could be wrong, and you can get your ass beat too, right? I mean, like, these are consequences to this thing. You could lose your job for that. You can do consequences. It's really always what it's about.
Explain why their opinion or ideology is not wrong. They just want you to leave them alone while they share that opinion or ideology that is overtly harmful to millions of people.
They want to not challenge. They want to be not challenged. You're only allowed to say something if you agree with them. You're not allowed to disagree with them.
Maybe in a comedy special. It's really obvious when you think about it. In fact, we can really stop the list at 2. Just cut that shit there. Because almost all the excuses that people are going to bring up in the comment section are going to have nothing to do with the actual material issue of Dave Chappelle's jokes and how they're transphobic or how they're punching down or how they do harm. It's only going to be about his right to be those things and why you shouldn't care, but it's not going to be anything explicitly explaining why there's not a wrong being done. And of course, Dave Chappelle has that right. But that doesn't change the consequences. It's freedom of speech, not freedom from consequences and criticism. So whatever other cope excuses you have, such as, it's just a joke. Why do you care so much? Why must we all have the same opinion? People are too sensitive, etc. All of that is bullshit, immaterial to the discussion at hand. We're moving on.
Same way Vox News is quick to tell. Exactly. Yeah, King James. LeBron James. Yeah, telling them all to shut up. You get played to be basketball, blah 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 blah, and then invite like Kid Rock to the White House. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
I also want to point out that none of this means that you can't, on some level, enjoy Dave Chapelle, in my opinion. I don't take such stances on media for the most part. As I watched this special, I had a few good laughs. I laughed more at this than I did at the closer because parts of it, even some of the offensive parts, were genuinely clever and funny. I didn't find the trans jokes funny, and I'll explain why in a moment, but I did get in some good laughs. None of this means I can't critique it or point out its issues. The first Black Panther movie is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I made a 90-minute video on why it has a ton of problems. I did the same thing to Lauryn Hill, Donald Glover, etc. Please, if you take issue with something I say in this video, or if you're one of those head-ass people that's like, why you always gotta talk about the thing and analyze stuff, just don't watch my shit. and stop leaving these comments, because if you leave that comment, it makes YouTube put my shit back in front of you. I mean, you can keep watching my obviously you can keep watching and keep commenting, that pays me, but like, I'm making fun of you on my head, and sometimes in responses to your comments. But we're off track. We're off track.
See, I like FD's energy, you know. Some people are smarter to not get in the mix, be like, I don't even mess with that shit, da 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 da. I don't go in the comments. FD's like, nah, I'm going in. That's me. That's me. Like, well, we're good. Well, yeah, we can get into it. I got time. Shit, I'm retired. I get paid to have time. I get paid to do this now. Oh shit. Your opinion is you can like vanilla ice cream better than chocolate, not who you think qualifies as a human being. I've always disliked the argument of it's just my opinion. Yeah, it's lazy. It's lazy.
We're off track. My bad, y'all. My bad. What I'm trying to say is, if you're going to take the time to leave a negative, like disagreeable comment, take issue with the argument, not the surrounding details. None of that helps me see anything differently. It will mostly be ignored.
Yeah.
And I will think you're stupid and bigoted, but too stupid to realize you're bigoted. You get me? Just saying. So, on to the Dreamer. Dave did something that I thought was really disappointing for a comedian of his stature. Just shows kind of how much he's deteriorated since his Killing Me Softly days, which is what he talks about at the beginning, where Dave spends like 50% of this special, not in a perfect half, but like at different times, lampshading himself over and over while calling it a joke. So what do I mean by lampshading? Lampshading is when a movie or show or some media purposely points out something that's dumb and makes no sense within it as a way to wink at the audience, hoping to disarm criticism of something that's dumb or makes no sense within it. It's them letting the audience know that they know that the thing they're doing is dumb, but to just go along with it. We're having fun here. Just go with me here. For instance, there's that one moment in the Avengers Age of Ultron where there's literal gods and green monsters and people with magical powers fighting in the city. And here's Hawkeye with his bow and arrow, and he has this whole speech about how he knows it doesn't make sense.
Look, the city is flying. We're fighting an army of robots. And I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
I'm hit and miss on this in media because sometimes it is funny, and as a creator, I sometimes do feel like I need to signal to the audience that I know something doesn't quite add up, but there's just to go with it, right? But in other situations, it's just really lazy and more of a crutch for poor writing or bad jokes. And in Chappelle's case, it's like, again, 50% of the jokes, or at least specifically almost all of the jokes that he makes at other people's expense. So what he does over and over in this special is sly ways of announcing that what he's doing is offensive and not inherently funny and punching down, and then does it anyway.
I ain't doing trans jokes no more. You know what I'm gonna do tonight? Tonight, I'm doing all handicap jokes. Well, they're not as organized as the gays. And I love punching down.
And that in and of itself is supposed to be funny. He switches from trans people to people with disabilities for a second, and the whole punchline is just, look, I'm so offensive, I'll even make fun of people with disabilities in 2024. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
Don't do it a third time.
Isn't that fun? If you're not overly critical, you'll let him get away with it. But if you're at all critical and not easily amused by...
If I was the editor, I would have cut it in the isn't that, and then that would have... But anyways, that's it. Whatever.
By marginalized people being made the butt of jokes, then you realize that no actual joke is being made. It's just us laughing at Dave Chappelle's capacity to be offensive, which at this point, I don't find all that funny. I stopped finding that funny a decade ago when I stopped watching the Chappelle Show. Damn, that's 2 decades ago. There's a few clever moments in his offensive jokes, but for the most part, is him being lazy and punching down. 2 things that he openly admits during the show that I accused him of in my video 2 years ago. But again, he admits them jokingly to lampshade what he's doing. He knows people are gonna say that he's punching down, so he says, look, I'm punching down, before then punching down. So now you can't complain about it. No, Dave. It's just lazy and it doesn't really work. And the reason it doesn't work isn't inherently because I or anyone is too sensitive, even though that would be perfectly fine in my perspective. Yeah. If you're trying to be offensive, don't complain when you offend people. Yeah. Like, that is what it is. But to me, it doesn't work because I don't believe he understands what and who he's talking about, nor does he actually respect the community he's making jokes about. Like later in the set, Dave makes a racist joke about his own wife.
You know what I think it is? Here's the deal. It kind of goes back to what we were saying about like narcissism, right? Like Dave Chapelle is like tremendous, like incredibly rich, right? He is done. He's won. He's won all the monies. But here's the part that I think that you know, when you're young, right? When you're in your killing me softly era, you want to become the greatest, right? You want to become the Jordan of your genre. So what do? You work. You know what I mean? That's why I find it funny when you see like you know, hip hop heads, you know, like act like that they're you know, getting wasted and doing drugs and partying all day every day. I'm like, no, the fuck you're not. No, then that's what you want to portray because that's what your listeners want to hear. But you're not doing that. You're in the studio. You're writing. You're keeping your head clear. You know what I mean? Except for weed. Like I know the smoking weed all day every day. But but it's like, but what happens though? What happens after you've made it and you just want to keep making more money? You know, like you still need to make, I could use a couple extra mil so I can close on this other deal. Are you as hungry? Are you out there? Are you clawing? Are you wanting to make sure that you are the king back when you were making good shit? No, you've made it. You're not hungry anymore. You're full, actually. You know what I mean? You can't eat another bite. You just want more bites. And then that's when you're starting to make shit that because you don't care. His Netflix special could bomb. It could lose money. And he still has hundreds of millions of dollars in worth.
Who I believe is Filipino. And I laughed hard at it because it was a lowbrow, dumb joke that came out of nowhere and it was incredibly well timed. So it was funny to me. You could also say that it was inherently making fun of the nature of stereotypes, not so much just being a stereotype. And more significantly, I don't think that Dave has any real issues with Asian people or his wife or her looks. And he eventually turns that same joke against himself soon after.
I said, how'd you open that phone? She said, it was easy, nigga. All I had to do was mash my nose and go like this, and it opened right up. I said, what the fuck?
So we have all these other elements to the joke where it doesn't feel like punching down. It feels like including a community within the comedy. That's what Dave often insinuates that he's trying to do, but it doesn't come across because you can make certain jokes about, say, your loved ones and friends, and the humor can be the focus as opposed to whatever offense that might be being made from the joke. But for me, that is the bar for offensive humor. The joke shouldn't just be a reinforcement of an idea that's offensive or laughing at one's capacity to be offensive, and that's what's missing from Dave's trans jokes. Going back to Bill Burr. Bill Burr makes a lot of jokes around black people and race, but the majority of these jokes are not explicitly tied to racist stereotypes around black people, and they're more about Bill Burr's confusion, discomfort, and constant pursuit to trying to figure out how to effectively engage with black people, because it's very clear that Bill Burr is in community with black people, including his own wife.
Judging anybody. I didn't know anything about lotion, never used it the first 33 years of my life. Never use it. Till one night I was going out with this black girl, right? She was getting ready and she was just putting that shit on everywhere. Just slathering it on. I thought she had like a rash or something. She's like, you're an idiot, stick out your arm. So I stick out my arm and ever so gently, she just drags her nails down. This smoke starts coming up. There's like pastry flakes flying off, crack marks, she's signing her name. She's like, you see that? She goes, that's ashy.
And now you still might be offended at some of the jokes that Bill Burr makes, but they definitely are much higher on the totem pole than chicken and watermelon jokes. They don't hinge explicitly on lazy stereotypes. If you go back to the closer, the punching down jokes are all
Exactly what I was thinking. I remember the closer being marked as his last special, only for him to go on his cancel culture. Our shit is so transparent. Yeah, exactly. It's that like, ah, man, I wanna close this deal on this housing development I want to buy, for rich people, and yeah.
All of his trans jokes. Trans women cut off their penises. Trans women are delusional.
Me and my wife had the same discovery years ago. Really? Usually women are on it. It's the dude part of lotioning up.
Transness is a white thing because he consistently speaks of transness as separate from blackness, which it is not. It's the exact same trans.
Man, I was saying that since day one of this whole fucking transphobia art. It hits my ears. You know what it's like? It's like when I hear people talk about black and Hispanics. Like it's like I get what they're saying. I get like blacks and Latinos, and it's like I get it, and I feel like I'm being pedantic. I feel like I'm like I need my glasses. Oh man, I don't have my glasses. I gotta get those before Nerds of Culture. Actually, there are black people within the Latin. I get it. But it's still annoying to me because I'm like, they're not separate groups, really. You know what I mean? That's why when I talk about stuff, like if I want to talk about like the kind of black Ernie is, sometimes if I want to be specific, right? Because I want to talk about that culture, I'll say African American, right? And that way I'm being like, but if it's something that's not specific to black Americans, then or African Americans specifically, it's like, then I'm going to use black, right? And it's like the way that Dave Chapelle will go, well, the gays and the trans will do that, blah, 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 but you don't see black people doing that. I'm like, what? Do you think there are no black trans and gay people? Are you stupid?
Jokes. Every edgy comedian from the late 2000s has been making for like 5 or 6 years now.
I could have my legs removed, have wheels put on, identify as a pram, right?
Who else gets to have that? It's just...
I don't know what a pram is. Well, I don't. Is a identify as a pram? Put wheels on. Is a pram a wheelchair? Stroller? Oh, close. Kind of a wheelchair. Yeah. Yeah. Babies are actually are technically disabled. I've always said babies are. Yeah. Never mind. I can't finish that joke. Yeah.
The mushy. I don't fucking have any idea.
I missed it.
That is just as a pram, right?
Who else gets to have that? It's just a mushy, I don't fucking have any idea. I would give $1 million to just wake up, oh, I'm an owl. That's what the thing is.
So what this shows is that Dave doesn't know.
See, Ricky Gervais. Okay, I'm going to say something. Ricky Gervais, and I'm going to lose a lot of your respect right now, Susan, and I apologize for this. But I like Ricky Gervais almost as much as I like Dave Chapelle, and they both make me sad. I'm like, bro, just do the thing that I like when you do. Like, I like his deliveries, I like his jokes. I love The Office, but it's like then you like do the other shit, and it's like what are you doing? Like, it's like you don't have to do this,
Or doesn't care enough about the target of the joke to find something clever or insightful to say. And he gets away with it because he has now cultivated an audience that also doesn't know or care and thus thinks it's funny. There's one super telling moment in the closer that I wish I'd have talked about more in that video, which is when Dave mentions one of the many anti-trans bathroom bills and people in the crowd cheered when he mentioned this, and Dave has to suddenly correct him and point out that these are bad, mean laws that hurt trans people for no reason.
There's laws, the mean laws in our country. North Carolina passed a law once that said a person in North Carolina must use the restroom that corresponds with the gender they were assigned on their birth certificate.
And how they react is the sort of person who would still, knowing everything. This reminds me of the Sneeko thing. You know what I mean? Like if somebody has time, unless you're busy, if somebody has time, can someone drop the link in there about when Sneeko met that dude, met that little kid in the airport? You know what I mean? Like, why are you surprised? Like this is what you're building. You know, the way they're about to react right now is it is indicative of the kind of person who knows who Dave Chapelle is. And I'm still buying a $300 ticket to go to a show, $500 ticket, whatever it is.
No.
Woo! You know?
No, that's not a good law.
And in this one moment, Dave maybe shows that he doesn't hate trans people. He just, again,
is an idiot.
Doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Because he probably wouldn't have written that joke if he had known that since before 2021, when Dave released this special, there have been like 500 or 600 different anti-trans bills put on the books specifically just to limit the freedoms of trans people in America. Now, is that Dave Chappelle's fault? No, of course not. And thankfully, many of these bills die before getting signed into law, but they illustrate the grave reality of what's going on with trans people in America and how they are being used as a focal point for right-wing political movement that hurts everybody. So we should never be buying into that rhetoric, if not just for our own selfish desire to survive our own shit. But that shows you why it's different than just, oh, you can't take a joke. For their situation, shit ain't that funny right now.
That's it.
For me, and from what I've been told by trans folks I'm in community with, the biggest problem with Dave was his misplaced confidence in being able to speak on them so frivolously when he doesn't really know what he's talking about and doesn't realize how harmful he's being. Not just in making jokes, but in attempting to validate these jokes as an appropriate and important criticism that the trans community.
It's that way that boomers will do that, conservative boomers, that they'll have this thing. This is something that happens. This happens, sometimes with my dad or other people in my life where they're older. We know we're not similar politically minded, but life has put us in a situation, whether through, blood or family or whatever, employment, where you kind of, you know what, we're gonna be nice, right? We're gonna enjoy each other's company, and we're just not gonna talk about the stuff that we hate with each other, right? And every now and then they'll say some shit, and what it is Dave is saying this shit that to him it just seems like common sense. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say this thing, and look, it's just common sense. Everybody knows this, and the other people and the people listening to it is like, no, stop. You know what I mean? Like, New York, yeah, New York used to be nice, right? New York, this was an in-law of mine. New York used to be nice, and and this person, he's like super cool. Otherwise, I mean, like I don't have any problems with them, but that's only when we're not talking about politics. And it's like, oh, here we go. All right. Yep. Shoplifting, Democrats are ruining cities, and shoplifting's, blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, whatever. It's that type of shit where they think that what they're saying is they have the truth, they have the facts, and all that. Good night, CG. Take care. And they really don't. They don't.
Community needed to hear from him, Dave Chapelle. And instead of processing that criticism, he doubled and now has tripled down on it. Like Dave does this thing now at the end of a lot of his specials where he stops, being a stand-up comedian and becomes a philosopher and storyteller. And most of the time when he does this, it's really, really good because he is very insightful on the things he actually has knowledge of. But in the closer, he brought up his one trans friend. After making jokes about trans people for 45 minutes, he brought up his one trans friend that sadly did commit suicide and used that tangential experience from someone that he heard from to make an umbrella proclamation about the entirety of the trans community. Imagine for a second if fucking Larry the Cable Guy did chicken and watermelon jokes for 60 minutes, and then at the last 10 minutes said, well, one time I was talking to Chris Rock, and he said he totally agrees with what I'm saying. Anyway, if Dave would have just left it at jokes and not have made this grand statement, he probably wouldn't have gotten into that much trouble. It's that he tried to play it off and then cap about how he was being misrepresented and that he was so offended at being called out. They said I was punching down, and I never do that. And the nigga like, the nigga then did it in this in this special. It's like he didn't even know what he said in the last special. Everything he said in the closer to defend himself, he completely reverses on here, including the whole I'm not gonna make trans jokes anymore part. Remember that? Remember how you all clapped for him and said, good job, Dave, for deciding he was not gonna be bigoted anymore in public? And then he couldn't even do that shit.
Then he has to buy his third yacht or whatever the fuck he has out there.
Clearly dude can't help himself. The scary sad thing is that if I know anything about transphobia, it tends to like create a virus in some people. Like some people low-key get addicted to that. If you go on Twitter, you'll see it a lot. So I'm hoping that Dave can get on to another topic. Like we're now 4 or 5 specials deep into this shit.
Retire, just
But,
give it
you
up,
know,
go
at least
away.
he proved me right. I'll take that win. I'm FD Signifyer.
That is FD Signifyer. And it won't be the last time you see him around on this channel. Again, fans. All right. That is the end of the show. I appreciate y'all being here. Ladies, gentlemen, and MBs. This is LeftFace, and I'm Robo. I appreciate y'all's support. I appreciate y'all being here. Sometime between 8 and 9 o'clock tomorrow. I'm gonna stop saying I'm gonna be live at 8 because I'm never live at 8. But I'm like, that's the goal, right? That's the goal. Like, so start watching for me around 8, and then maybe it's like 9:15. Who knows? Eastern time. Don't forget to check out the Nerds of Culture over on Blurred Without Fear's YouTube channel, youtube.com/blurredwithoutfear. If you're like one of the 4 people that aren't from that channel here. I just want to let you know I love you all. Make sure to take care of yourself. And no, I usually say the other way. Take care of others, but don't forget to take care of yourself. Sometimes we get so busy, right? Especially here on the left, caring about others, making sure that others are good, and we're not taking care of ourselves. So practice wellness, hydrate, get some sleep. I love you all. I'll see you all tomorrow.